I think I had two aha moments. One was when we were sending Bitcoins back and forth, it had no value, and suddenly a secondary market appeared for it. And now a Bitcoin was not just a set of data on a computer on the blockchain, but someone I think posted on Craigslist or something and said, "Hey, I'm buying or selling Bitcoin for 40 cents or something." I don't even remember. I can pull up the ad because I kept it. At that moment, I thought, that's it. That's the real adoption, because we can theoretically send thousands of Bitcoins back and forth and burn them and, save them and say, "Oh, this is amazing," until someone values it. And this is a turning point for any business. When someone starts monetarily valuing what you've built, that's when social interest increases and adoption begins.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Weekly podcast, the show where we interview the top movers and shakers in the crypto industry. Today, I'm really excited to announce we have Brad Yasar on the show, the CEO and founder of EQIFI. Brad, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And before we get started with EQIFI, I want to take a little trip into your background in blockchain, because you might be the most OG Bitcoiner that I've ever had on the show. And I'd love to hear, how you got into crypto and, what your journey has been thus far.
Well, my getting into crypto story is actually very unique, because I got into Bitcoin because of a friend of mine. I received 3 files that he emailed me and said, "Brad, compile these, you're gonna love it." So I got excited, and I'm like, he's either gonna take over my computer, because he's in technology, so he knows what he's doing. I'm like, he's either gonna take over my computer and make fun of me, or it's something fun. So I created a separate virtual instance, compiled them, ran it, and it was basically the first set of Bitcoin tools that I got. It was a full node, a wallet, a command line wallet where you had to type in the commands, you didn't click on anything, and a miner. So that was my initial encounter with crypto and Bitcoin. And I had not at that point even read the white paper yet. It wasn't something I was, actively researching or that I knew about. So it was very fortuitous, fell in love with it. Prior to that, I was running the SETI screensaver to help NASA find extraterrestrial life with my spare CPU power. And after I got my hands on Bitcoin stuff, I started mining Bitcoin. Obviously, that created a renewed interest and excitement around cryptography. I've always been a big fan of PGP and used it for communications, but this rejuvenated that. Then looked into other coins, Litecoin, Mastercoin, made some friends, and participated in Ethereum's original sale, which was, again, very exciting, just because of the challenges the Bitcoin community faced up until that moment, building real businesses on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. I mean, Bitcoin in and itself is revolutionary. It's amazing. But the limitations are also very clear if you're trying to model a business that works on-chain using Bitcoin. So got very excited with Ethereum. The rest is history. Since then, I've been an active participant. Initially, I was not necessarily making a public appearance, but a point came where I thought I should share my experience and knowledge with others. Started talking about it, keynoted all over the world on the topic of crypto blockchain decentralization, and it's been very, very amazing. Personally, for personal growth, I made some incredible friends all over the world that I wouldn't have otherwise even met, and learned a lot. And I think I grew up as a person as a result of everything that happened in the crypto space and journey I was on.
Honestly, I can say the same. And what an amazing story. I think, as you said, your story is so unique. If I could just ask, since you've had over a decade experience in blockchain and cryptocurrencies, when was it that the light bulb went off for you that this was going to be a technological revolution, that it's going to be something that's going to shake the pillars of history?
I think I had two aha moments. One was when we were sending Bitcoins back and forth, it had no value, and suddenly a secondary market appeared for it. And now a Bitcoin was not just a set of data on a computer on the blockchain, but someone, I think, posted on Craigslist or something and said, hey, I'm buying or selling Bitcoin for 40 cents or something. I don't even remember. I can pull up the ad because I kept it. At that moment, I thought, that's it. That's the real adoption, because we can theoretically send thousands of Bitcoins back and forth and burn them and, save them and say, oh, this is amazing, until someone values it. And this is a turning point for any business. When someone starts monetarily valuing what you've built, that's when social interest increases and adoption begins. So that was a really interesting moment. And of course, when Bitcoin first reached $100 or so, I was like, okay, this is it. This is going to change things, because now you can move meaningful amount of value, not just a few dollars, tens of dollars, but hey, if a Bitcoin is $100 and you have 1,000 Bitcoin, now you have $100,000, meaningful amount of value and wealth that you can move back and forth. So that was the first aha moment. The second aha moment was actually when I tried to build a business. And I went to a lot of people I know who invest in startups and early technologies, and they looked at me and said, Brad, we love you, we've done some business together, but this is just walk away. Like, what is this? And then that was the moment I realized it's so ahead of its time. And I think that was in 2011, I want to say. Everything that the community was doing, the Bitcoin blockchain, the Litecoin, everything that was happening was so sheltered and so technically complex and heavy that even people who invest in bleeding edge technologies were not saying, wow, this is a great idea. Let's build a wallet, or let's build an exchange, or let's do this. So that was the second moment where I said, this is going to take it is the future, and it's going to take a long time to educate everyone else who's not technical, who's not cryptographers, programmers, or, looking at it with my lens, but just regular people. And they would use it if they could see a use case, but it's not connecting. We've come a long way since then.
We have come a long way since then, and I think we still have such a long way to go. And what a beautiful transition to start talking about EQIFI, because I think where we are in the DeFi space right now is very much like Bitcoin probably in 2011. So much in its infancy. It's only really been around for 2-3 years at maximum. And so let's talk about, one, the barriers to entry in the DeFi ecosystem, and then two, how EQIFI is really, changing the game when it comes to DeFi.
Definitely, that is a good segue, and I'm just gonna correct one thing. DeFi is actually 4 years old. It
Okay.
started with Bancor. So, but you are correct that the last 2 years have been the major adoption curve happening. You know, if you don't count Bancor and Synthetics as the first two DeFi projects I'm aware of and I used, you know, everything else started in beginning of 2020. So you are correct in that regard, that the tidal wave didn't come till after a few years. But I think the biggest challenge that I personally feel in DeFi is the complexity and the amount of knowledge you need to accumulate across different chains. Like there are amazing things happening on Solana, but if you don't have a wallet, if you're not following Solana news, if you're not following what happened with the blockchain like just yesterday, you don't know about it. It's not that it's not built, it's not that it doesn't have a vibrant community, it's just there's so much to know and so much to discover that I find it very challenging to keep up with DeFi, both from my technological know-how and abilities, as well as from just a research perspective. So one thing that we decided with EQIFI is we're going to simplify the user experience, the UI UX, to a level where you're familiar with it as if it's your mobile app for your bank. That's our long-term goal. We want to simplify DeFi across chains for end users to a level where they don't need to know what chain the asset is on. They don't need to know how to use that chain. They don't need to know what wallets work with that chain. And they can just say, wow, there's a pool that returns 17% for the next 3 months. I like that. I'm going to go into that pool. They take their Canadian dollars, US dollars, euros, click on it, and they put it in that pool. What happens in the background, of course, is automated on-chain, off-chain, and it's our hybrid model where we take that fiat, we on-ramp it to crypto, we get the native coin, we go into that pool, we buy the other half of the pool, the other asset, and place the positions for them to earn that reward. But we want to simplify this so no one has to have a computer science degree to get good returns, and also simplify it so that even people who have computer science degrees and who are extremely well versed in this space don't have to spend 5 hours every day in Telegram and Discord channels trying to find the next best thing or the highest yield pool, because that's a full-time commitment that a lot of us can't make, but we still want to benefit from the highest possible returns based on our risk profiles.
Yeah. And it's such a great point that you bring up that even for you, somebody who's so well versed in the space, you even have trouble keeping up, because I know I do as well. And this is my full-time job 24/7. And so if we, you know, who are full-time in the industry are having a tough time keeping up, how is our mom or our grandma going to adopt the technology? And so, you know, I think what you're doing with EQIFI and almost obfuscating the background, you know, what's happening under the hood is actually one of the most noble things you can do in terms of furthering global adoption of crypto, because it's not until it becomes easier than the traditional system that a new system gets adopted, right?
Absolutely, very, very well said. And our goal, the genesis of EQIFI, was never to build a higher yield product than everyone else and grab existing crypto market share. It wasn't to compete with a lot of the DeFi projects that I personally backed and I'm big fans of. It was always to open up the crypto asset class to new people, new investors, new users, and educate them. That was one way of the traffic that we wanted to solve for, because there's so many people, they hear, oh, someone made 100% return with Doge, and they don't even know what Doge is, let alone how to buy it, when to get in and invest, when to get out. And it's not fair that just because they don't have the technical know-how or the time to investigate that they're left out of this
Mhm.
ecosystem, because we have a very vibrant and welcoming system as long as you know how to interact with it. On the flip side, I also know so many people who created incredible value in the DeFi space and can't even go out and buy a car because there's no connection between their real lives, day-to-day lives, where we do want to access that value, but unfortunately the traditional systems have made it so difficult to go from a DeFi pool to a car loan or a home loan that most people don't even think about it. They're like, yeah, I have millions of dollars in DeFi, and then, you know, I may miss out on payments because I don't have any cash in my bank account. So we wanted to bridge that divide, bring the two together and serve both communities, the traditional banking clients, the traditional investors, with better products that they can earn more from, and the DeFi community with better banking services that they can benefit from to enrich their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, I think, you know, I agree with everything you've said in, you know, in that last comment. And what I'd love to say, one, for the people in crypto, is that the pie can get so much bigger. We don't need to compete with each other for current market share. We're at 3% global adoption. We are going to get to 60, 70% in the next 10 years. Let's open the door to everybody, allow everybody in, and, you know, stop forking chains and changing a few lines of code and calling it a different product. It's not. Let's build something from the ground up. That's a little rant on my part. But so let's talk about, you know, opening that door and making it easy, because, you know, I got into the crypto space in 2016, and I've been harping on my friends, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. And what I always get in return is, well, what can I buy with it? Why, you know, when can I use it? When can I spend it? And I think now we're starting to see some adoption of debit card systems. And I know EQIFI is coming out with their own. And maybe we can talk about that. But how are you helping to bridge that gap to make it easier to spend that money in the real world, to, you know, almost merge these two parallel financial systems?
Well, one excuse you didn't mention is it's too expensive. I can't afford Bitcoin.
Right.
That's my favorite
That's
one.
the big, yeah.
You can buy
Maybe when it
$1
gets to
worth of
500,000. Yeah.
Bitcoin. I think that's the pure hybrid model we have with DeFi and a digital bank, and being on the same platform. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create a platform that values your crypto same as your fiat. What that allows us to do, being a licensed and regulated bank, is if we can clearly define what value you have on the DeFi side, we can allow you to either access it with a card or borrow against it and take out a loan. So imagine this future scenario. This is something we hope to have next year. But imagine a future scenario where you worked really hard, you have $1 million, and your $1 million is in a pool that's earning you 10%. Now, you don't want to take out your $1 million from the pool and lose that 10%, but you want to buy a new car, right? So what our platform will allow you to do is borrow against your LP tokens in the pool without moving them. Just lock them on the platform as a collateral, and you're earning your 10%, and maybe we give you a loan on the other side for 6%, 7%. So now you get fiat deposited into your bank account where you can use to buy a car, buy whatever you need. And you're actually making money on your $1 million because you're paying 6, you're getting 10 here, and the difference is positive. So instead of after a year, your loan costing you, you know, whatever the percentage, you actually made money from the loan. Same thing with a card. We because we can access crypto same as fiat on our platform, we can allow you to, and this is done by other companies too. I'm not saying we're the only ones, but the ease of use and the license regulated aspect of things kind of differentiates us. You know, you can have Bitcoin in your account and either borrow against it and have money in your card, or use the Bitcoin directly with the card. So we're trying to really connect the dots between wealth, value created in alternative digital assets, and access to them in your daily life. That's the part that many people are trying to solve, and I hope many more people get into our space and try this, because just like you said, the pie is so big that if there was 10 other EQIFIs, I'd have a huge smile on my face, because I know we can all be very successful, grow to the maximum potential, and still not serve the whole world population. It would still need more.
Beautifully said. Couldn't say it better myself. And I think, you know, one thing that you left out is that not only by lending and borrowing are you not liquidating your crypto, you're also not getting that capital gains tax depending on the jurisdiction that you're in. So, you know, the lending and borrowing feature is huge when it comes to crypto because it's treated as an asset and not as, you know, a currency. So with respect to EQI, I'd love to better understand, is this mostly for retail investors, or are institutions going to be able to park their capital on EQIFI as well?
That's a really good question. So EQIBank's designed to service everyone globally, and EQIBank powers EQIFI in all banking facilities and products. What the initial growth strategy is, it's a top to bottom one, because we do want to make sure the banking protocols and facilities and everything is tested with a smaller group than larger group. When you are launching a financial product, whether it be an insurance product or banking product, lending product, stress testing in a live environment is very important, because if you drove 1 million people to a banking platform that has never seen 1 million users at the same time, and it's a new platform, you're going to discover that a lot of things are not going the way they did in a test environment, because you didn't have that specific amount of volume on it. So our approach is, let's start with institutional, corporate, high net worth, active users who are probably good place to start when it comes to testing the capabilities of the platform. Build it more, increase the capacity, and then get more people on and lower the bars. Can retail clients use the bank right now? Absolutely. They're more than welcome. We can onboard them, and they'll have a pleasant experience. Unfortunately, because we don't have the traditional retail banking volumes, they may not like the fee structure right now, just because we're at the beginning of our journey. Once we get the volumes, of course, those fees come down, and then it's going to be a lot more retail friendly. On the institutional, corporate, that's exactly what the platform is designed for right now. And it has successfully onboarded clients from, I believe we have 100 different countries right now. Wow. In our roster.
Amazing. And speaking of hundreds of different countries, I saw on your website you have access to, for example, the euro, the US dollar, different fiat currencies. Are these synthetic assets or synthetic currencies, or are these, you know, can you wire funds directly into EQIBank?
No, these are real fiat currencies.
Oh, awesome.
You can wire funds, you can SWIFT, you can IBAN. We have a very strong correspondent network and relationships to accommodate most local currencies, although they may not be on the site as EQIFI, favorited assets. If you're in a country and you need rupees, or you need rubles, or you need whatever, we have the relationships to deliver the funds in their accounts in the local currency.
Truly the DeFi gateway for the entire world. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far. I know you just raised a seed round earlier this year. Is there another round on its way? What are you guys planning to do with the money, and what's next for EQIFI?
Well, I think I think we're in a very blessed and unique position in a way that my business partner, Jason Blick, and I, when we started EQIFI, were in a position to finance this till the end of days. So we started self-funded. We actually didn't raise a seed round. What we did was we started building last August. We just had our first anniversary from the first version of white paper being, released to the platform being released a year later. But we initially self-funded the project and got it to a point where we were very confident on deliverables and the dates. And then what we decided was we needed strategic partners, not for necessarily the funds, but more so for the network effect, the community, the support that they can give the project. So we went to a small group of strategic partners and did a token sale, which went unexpectedly well. We were trying to raise anywhere from 2.5 to 10 million. We ended up getting $50 million in interest and having to cut down a lot of potential interested parties. But we raised $10 million. That was beginning of the year. Deployed a large chunk of that into the platform, of course, to provide liquidity and to provide support for our token in secondary markets. And basically, because we maxed out the amount of money that we anticipated to get from this token sale, we have a really good runway right now for several years. Our goal is to get to critical mass and profitability during this time, so we don't have to do any raises. Now, again, if a strategic partner, an institutional partner came and said, we want to position ourselves in your ecosystem in this way, we would be absolutely open to that. However, because of our growth trajectory right now, it would be a very high valuation up. So I don't know if there is that kind of appetite, but we're always open. And the only reason we would take money is the network effect, the doors that it's going to open, and the growth acceleration we're going to see. Otherwise, I feel fairly confident that we can grow this business organically with what we have and get to a really nice state.
I am confident as well. And, that's a good problem to have, figuring out whose money you want to take and whose you want to turn down. We're almost running out of time here. If people want to get in contact with Equifax, or if people want to sign up, sorry, Equibank, or EQIFI, how would they do so?
I think our main point of contact is the website, equifi.com, EQIFI.com is the main portal. We have a very active Telegram community. So t.me/EQIFI is the official channel, and we get a lot of conversations in that from that channel. And all our social is actually on the website. So if someone has a preference on how to reach us, that's the best way. Fastest way is Telegram. Again, direct contact. They can email us. We have some public emails that serve more like issues on the platform, or questions, or suggestions, or bug reporting. And yeah, come say hi, and ideally sign up on the website and check out the products. People say, why should I buy your token? And I'm like, don't buy the token. Go to the website and see what we're building. And if you use the products and you see value, then worry about the token later. We're not, we're not concerned about the token price. Obviously it's been doing well, and obviously it's listed on several exchanges, but that was never our moment of pride. It's the products that we built. It's the card you can get and spend your crypto that excites us. So experience that, and if you like it, get involved with the token. If not, just use the platform, and that'll make me happy.
Awesome. Once again, that's EQIFI, EQIFI.com. Their token is EQX. Brad, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.